One hot summer day, a hungry fox wandered through the dense forest, his reddish-orange fur gleaming in the sunlight as he searched desperately for food. His stomach rumbled loudly, and his energy was fading with every step. The forest was alive with sounds, but there was nothing for him to eat. He stopped briefly by a small brook to drink, but his hunger drove him onward. Finally, just as the fox was about to give up, he spotted a farmer's stone wall at the edge of the forest. Draped over the wall were thick vines heavy with clusters of large, juicy grapes. The deep purple fruit glistened with dewdrops in the sunlight, and the fox's mouth watered at the sight. This was exactly what he had been searching for. With newfound energy, the fox crouched low and leaped toward the grapes, his paws swiping at the air. But no matter how high he jumped, he couldn't reach the fruit. The grapes were just out of his grasp, dangling above him like a tantalizing dream. Frustrated but determined, the fox jumped again and again, each time falling short. His sleek fur became damp with sweat, and his breath came in ragged gasps. But still, he refused to give up. The fox's plan. After several failed attempts, the fox paused to think. Scanning the area, he noticed some stones scattered near the base of the wall. An idea sparked in his clever mind. He gathered the stones and stacked them into a shaky pile beneath the vines. Satisfied with his makeshift platform, the fox carefully climbed on top, balancing his weight as he prepared for another jump. With a confident spring, he leaped from the pile toward the grapes. But just as his paws were about to touch the vine, the stones shifted beneath him, and the fox tumbled to the ground in a heap. Groaning, he lay there for a moment, staring up at the grapes that still hung just out of reach. The raven's laughter. As the fox lay there, contemplating his next move, a loud caw broke the silence. He looked up to see a sleek black raven perched on the wall, watching him with sharp, beady eyes. The raven cawed again, as if mocking the fox's efforts. "Having trouble, friend?" the raven asked, its voice filled with amusement. The fox scowled, his pride wounded. "I don't need help from a bird," he snapped, rising to his feet and shaking the dust from his fur. The raven tilted its head, clearly entertained. "Those grapes look delicious," it said, eyeing the fruit. "I could fly up and get them for you. Of course, I'd expect a share." The fox narrowed his eyes. "I don't need charity from a bird," he growled, refusing the offer. With another mocking caw, the raven flapped its wings and flew away, leaving the fox alone once again. The fox's final attempt. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the ground, the fox gathered all the strength he had left. He crouched low, his muscles coiling like springs, and with one final burst of energy, he leaped higher than ever before. His paws brushed against the vine, but once again, he couldn't reach the grapes. With a thud, he landed back on the ground, utterly exhausted. The fox's defeat. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the forest grew darker. The once proud fox stood there, panting and defeated. His body ached, and his spirit was broken. He looked up at the grapes one last time, but they remained as unreachable as ever. With a bitter sigh, the fox turned to leave. As he walked away, his head hung low and his tail dragged behind him. "Those grapes were probably sour anyway," he muttered to himself, trying to convince himself that he didn't want them after all. And with that, the fox disappeared into the shadows of the forest, leaving the grapes untouched and swaying gently in the breeze. Moral: nothing comes easy. Do not hate what you can't.